We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Hell yes, I get to ride the dragon.
What the hell's wrong with you people?
I know Kung Fu.
Tank, you want to switch? You want to switch?
No, I'm good. I got it.
Stay down.
I could do this all day.
If you had to transform into one mythical creature and then get married to a different mythical creature.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Maximum effort.
How about a magic trick?
HR.
Not an animal.
HR. Is HR.
Somebody call HR down here.
That man is playing Galaga.
Welcome to the Nerds from Work, your weekly escape into the world of geeks, nerds, and hey, Atlanta United fans. Everybody, cheers.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium, yo.
Everyone, cheers.
Dude, this thing feels rich.
How we start the show with beer and a countdown. Tune in next week for the live show. You'll see it all. You'll see the whole thing. So thanks for tuning in. And now I've got to figure out how to end this live shit. Oh, that's because we just went live on Instagram. But what does that mean for next week, Hank?
Yo, next week, it's not going to be on Instagram. Next week, it's going to be on twitch.tv/TheNerdsFromWork and on our YouTube channel, which doesn't have a cool URL yet. So, yeah, you have to like search YouTube for The Nerds From Work. I can't. It won't let me do a custom URL because most of our listeners are iTunes listeners. So,
yeah. So a funny story about that. When we started this, it was like, oh yeah, you know, we need all of this YouTube stuff. We've got to push YouTube. We have realized that podcasts are more audio than video.
We all have the face for iTunes.
Which means slightly millennial.
Yeah. To the left? What? Wow.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
All right. So what have you guys been up to, man?
So I was out of town. I went to the cabins this weekend and just chilled. Like it was, and drank and smoked cigars all weekend. It was great.
Manly man, dude.
Dude, it was dope. In fact, the two Wallaces that were on the Instagram live feed, we went with them. And yeah, I drew a little bit, hung out. We, like I said, drank bourbon.
You guys drink moonshine?
Did the moonshine tastings. You can't. Had Fanny Farkles, which is probably like the best like street vendor that's in Gatlinburg.
Fanny
what?
What?
Dude,
Any fart shine?
Fanny Farkles, dude. They do like foot-long corn dogs. They do like bratwurst. They do
I heard that so wrong. I thought I heard Fanny Fartles or farts.
No, I said that.
yeah, I think that was
Professor
Jason.
Fart Sparkle.
No, Fanny Farkles.
How my grandmother pronounces freckles.
So, did you guys ever watch The Bravest Warriors?
Yeah.
No.
Brandon, yeah, it seems like something you and I would watch.
Yeah,
So it's like 4 space people, right? And in the first episode, it's a cartoon, and in the first episode, they meet a space scientist. I don't know, but he's like, "Oh, my name is Professor Fart Sparkle," and they're like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is my machine, the Fart Sparkle 3000. Only over here is the Fart Sparkle." They're like, "Why are you naming everything after yourself? You have a terrible name." Like,
it's like an adult version of Adventure Time.
yes, yes,
It's like the same animation. It's on VRV now.
Oh, okay.
So funny. The first episode, Professor Fart Sparkle, and he's like, "Whatever you do, do not go into the time," and he dies, and then like he gets stuck in this time loop where he keeps dying and they die. So there's like thousands of bodies piled up, and it's all them. It's hilarious. Anyway, you went to Fanny Fart Sparkle, and
But yeah, just that. Prepping for the live show. Getting a few overlays set up. Make sure I have it all nice and pretty.
You have a cool explosion.
I need to. Maybe that's what I'll do this week.
Yeah.
Of course, I also have to prep for our next D&D session Saturday. So
D&D.
Oh, D&D Beyond. Yeah. In fact, I watched episode 50, whatever they're on, 53. I watched that today, or 52.
I'm nowhere near caught up on Critical Role.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Again, I watch like a shit ton of them, and then I just stop.
Yeah.
Critical Role is spinning off from something. I heard that.
They're doing an animated cartoon of their first season.
See,
Or their
that,
first campaign.
I wanted to talk about that at
you
some
should.
point.
Their first campaign.
Yeah, mainly because sorry to cut you off, Tank. The only like nerdy thing I really did in the past since last time I was on here is I started Umbrella Academy. I've been doing school stuff, like a lot of school stuff. So I haven't been doing shit. But yeah, Umbrella Academy was a Dark Horse comic. The first campaign of Critical Role, Dark Horse did a comic of the like prequel of before they started recording.
Vox Machina Origins.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, that's really cool that like Dark Horse is now getting multiple like iterations of like TV shows or whatever it becomes, animated series or Netflix series or whatever of their comics, which I'm pretty sure that was in the episode where we were like, yeah, which comic one would you like to see make new Netflix? Because Marvel's pulling out. And I was like, Dark Horse. So I win.
Yeah,
I win.
I'm only I think I'm on episode 10 from campaign 1. So it's
campaign 1 like a dragon just exploded a whole fucking city. They're like in the Feywild. They're just so powerful that it's like
they're still like
very entertaining.
Like even compared to like their season 2 characters at the very beginning of their campaign 1 that they start streaming, they're way stronger than they all have like multiple magic items and shit.
It was like a year or 2 years after they started that campaign is when they actually started filming. So that's why they have enough material for like the comics and like an animated series because they played that campaign for like 5 years or something stupid like that. Like a
right.
All right. So sorry to cut you both off.
No.
Naru, what did you get up to this week?
No, never.
That was a rabbit hole we were not coming back from.
Besides trying to stay awake just now, honestly, I wasn't feeling very well for half of the week. I don't know what happened. I think one of the days of the week I walked quite a bit in the rain and it was pretty cold. I have no idea what happened. It kind of hit me the wrong way.
Yeah, because this story is super entertaining compared to what me and Tank were talking about.
I was just gonna say I didn't do anything.
It's so fucking relevant.
I didn't do anything fun, man.
I believe in natural selection. So had you died from walking in the rain, cold and wet, that's your fault.
You guys already tried to kill me with cake. Let's move on. So anyway,
that was funny.
I've tried to kill Naru multiple times.
That clip went up today, actually.
I'm unkillable. The point though is I had a very weird week because I wasn't quite ill, but I wasn't quite 100%, and it just kind of messed my fun.
I hate that. You just put you in a funk.
So I couldn't even when I started watching stuff, I'd watch something and then stop and watch something else and stop. Ended up watching, of all things, American Gangster. That's pretty much the only
great movie
I did watch all week. Yeah, I did.
I've based my whole life off that movie.
Oh, well, then you'll be happy to know it's a work of fiction, apparently, because there's so many lies in that thing. Because I did the research after watching the movie, tells you how bored I was because I didn't know what else to do. I start reading up on everybody who's involved. By the way, I got to say, Russell Crowe's character in that movie was definitely dirty in real life. I don't believe he wasn't, dude. Like, seriously, forget that whole Mr. Clean. This guy paid the bad guy's son's tuition fees after he got out of prison for a while. I'm like, you got yourself a little something, man. I don't care what you say. But anyway, forget me.
I'll tell you the same thing I told my wife. Anybody who follows the rules 100% of the time, they're the most boring motherfucker on the face of the planet. You got to break them every now and then. American Gangster.
Okay, then. Moving on.
Moving on. Brandon, what did you do this week?
Not jack shit. I'm like super busy at work. Actually, after we record, I'm going to call someone in Asia.
What? You're going to work after this?
Yeah.
No way.
Nice.
I got an Asia call I got to do, fix something.
I mean, I'm going to say nice out of obligation, but you have my sympathy, man.
I know the feeling, bro.
I got quite a lot of work after this. But yeah, just like a lot of like work is very like ups and downs. I'm in a very busy time. And then also school, I'm also in a very busy time because it's like the end of the half semester I'm taking. So it's like a full course squished in half a semester. So I'm not like doing anything fun really. Like that's really it. I'm not just like
it's up to you to save this, Jason. You got to save this.
Dude, so I've been working a lot. Like when I mean a lot, I'm saying like I wake up at like 5:30. I start work by 6:30, and I finished working tonight at about 8 o'clock. I'm very busy, but but I will save us because I am now doing, as you can see, now I've got these in frames, right? I've got these in frames. I've got other stuff hung up. I'm putting my office together slowly but surely, right? It's coming up. But I found my comic book collection.
Hey.
Because I was moving my office from upstairs to downstairs, and my wife's like, all right, we need to start going through everything. So, of course, being the nerd I am, when I pulled out a whole bunch of my old comic books.
That's where work stopped.
Yeah, I stopped for like a solid 2 hours, right? Brandon, do you remember this comic book?
Yes. Power Pack. It was Jason's favorite comic book when he was in middle school.
This was elementary. This was
I thought it was sixth grade. It was right. It was right when
grade.
you went to Florida.
Yeah,
That's
sixth
a
grade.
Marvel. That's a Marvel imprint, is it?
This is Marvel. Yep.
I don't remember that. Like I
You
don't.
remember Power Pack, dude?
No.
God, dude, the kid that turned into a cloud was so fucking sick. He was
Mass
the true
Master.
vape god, dude.
So,
Vape
God.
god.
Yeah.
you call me
Vape god 2000. It's that kid.
Yeah.
Like,
What
So-
else did you find?
This was my first comic book that I actually put in a frame. Like, since obviously I took it out of the frame because I'm not a child anymore. But this is a book that I'm actually going to give my daughter. She's 6. She just started reading comic books. And this I thought was so cool because it was a whole bunch of kids that it's basically the Fantastic Four story, but for children. So, like,
Aw.
an alien came down to Earth, not a skull.
Uh-huh.
It's a completely different white horse alien.
Okay.
Gave his powers to 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
The parents get abducted by other aliens. And then the children now have split these powers between the 4 of them. So there's the flight ability, the power of gravity, one who turns into smoke, and then an electric shock, like Jubilee shit, right? Come on, we're talking about the 80s here.
Yeah.
So,
like the flight girl, she can fly at like the speed of light or something ridiculous.
right, yeah. She can fly at the speed of light. They're all ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
super overpowered. Like,
Yeah.
like imagine, okay, so whenever I think of flying nowadays, I always think of the show Heroes.
yeah,
Right.
that's
And, the
I love how they
flyman.
made that. Like that animation of him, like that was like the coolest shit when I saw it.
So it's like that overpowered, but they're all that overpowered. Like the guy
Why
who
did the
controls
alien give him the powers?
no weight limit. He just do whatever he wants.
Does the comic tell why he gave him the powers? Like, was there some higher?
Yeah, he was dying.
Ooh, Green Lantern.
The alien was dying, so he gave the powers to these children. So it's kind of like, okay, that's cool. But so the cool part about it is they actually met up later in the Runaways.
Yeah.
They're in the Runaways with Darkhawk and a whole bunch of other people when they're not the TV show The Runaways, the comic
Yeah,
book.
it's comic. Right. Okay.
And they're actually there.
Huh.
So it's like they stayed on as like C-list characters in the Marvel universe, but Marvel just never touches them. Only brings them around when it's like drug addicts and, Superheroes Anonymous.
Does it hold up?
So
After all
it
this
was
time, I'm guessing you read it again. Does it hold up?
No, fuck no. Fuck no. That's what I'm saying. Like I read it again and I was like,
Mortal Kombat.
yeah, fuck no.
Hey,
Okay.
watch your mouth.
Because here's the thing. I thought that sounded like a very stupid, lame premise, but I was trying to be respectful of your, childhood memory. So having you say that, just like, okay, great.
Fuck no. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. But as a child, and that's why I'm giving it to my 6-year-old, is because that's cool,
Entry
right? Like
Entry level. Yeah.
children have superpowers, not
Wish
adults.
fulfillment for kids. Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
Digimon
So-
season 1.
yeah. So I thought that was cool. Like I found my old comics and wasted a lot of time. I figured out that 1994 was a big year for me.
My balls dropped. My voice changed.
Well, I
I
was
was hair in
6.
places I didn't know.
He was little, dude.
Yeah, I was 6. Bro. My balls dropped. I realized all these things.
I
at
don't
6
know
years
what to
old.
do with my life anymore. I'm gonna start shooting up heroin.
I was thinking of college.
Welcome to the 2nd grade. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck's wrong with you?
hard.
Fuck. Yeah. 6 was a good year for me.
Yeah, Naru was starting on his third college after he got kicked out.
No, but I did meet somebody else who was. So yeah.
Naru's wife had gotten kicked out.
1994 was a cool year. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was a cool year.
Yeah, meth was huge in '94. It was cool, huh? It was the rise of meth in the '90s, right?
Brandon was 2.
Wait, hold up. I lost
Stronger
my virginity that year. I just realized.
In 1994.
Yeah.
You were 10 times my age. In '94. I had some sick ass Jordans when I was 2, though. Like all blacks with like red Jumpman. They were sick.
You still have
With
them?
some gold chains.
No,
Brandon,
I don't have them, but I have a video of me wearing them that I
Nice.
like in my grandma's house.
Brandon
That
was the
when his career path
Ice
was
Cube
set.
of 92.
Everybody's like, I remember my first pair of Jordans when I was in 9th grade. And I'm like, yeah, I was too. They were sick.
Suck it.
Yeah. I think in 5th grade, I think Jason actually had a pair of like Jordan, like the Jordan 1 or something like that. He disappeared though, so he can't back
We just
that up.
kicked him out.
Bro, he's like, fuck this show. I'm done.
It was like, what, 30 minutes of the
Like,
beginning?
suck it. Boom.
He time traveled back to '94.
You went to go get your shoes so you can get them bronzed or something.
Pre-internet.
If someone like showed up with those Jordans bronzed, I would fucking cry probably because I know they're destroyed. So like, if someone gave me a pair of my Jordans, I would.
Dude, what
That was
happened?
'94. How was the time?
Dude, I just came back from 1994.
Exactly.
What that boom tube smell like?
Holy shit. 94 was so weird because I launched right into the room where Naru lost his virginity.
Oh my God.
Weird.
Hot tub
These
time
eyes are
machine?
wide.
Really? Did you just hot tub time machine us?
Yes.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
That was good.
Naru, these things are illegal here. Okay?
Yo.
Pigskin
She was
condoms
worth-
don't
she
work.
was worth it.
Not in '94. They weren't.
Thank you.
94 was a hell of a year.
Oh man.
Fuck. You cannot unsee some things, Naru. And I just want to let you know that.
Well, that's the best part of this. I saw you in the
know what?
corner, but I didn't want to tell you this was about to happen. So hey,
I didn't want to
You
embrace.
just ruined my whole future, Naru.
my
Fuck it.
pleasure.
Let's just, you know what, Naru? Why don't you just go ahead and go straight from losing your virginity and just take that whole proud moment and talk about all of the shit that happened at the Oscars, you motherfucker.
It's probably the same. Similar.
let's start off with one simple thing. This Oscars this year was pretty interesting for all the wrong reasons. I mean, there's a dude in a suit and a dress, or I don't know what they call that thing. And then there's all kinds of people
Culture.
walking up on stage. I have no idea who they are. It's like they lost all the celebrities and brought every C-list, D-list person who was supposed to be hoping to become a celebrity A-list. And to, hey, here's your chance. Make an impression on stage. But anyway, talking about the things that did catch my interest, the animated features. But now everybody knows, I think there've been 18 of those giving out, and Pixar usually grabs one every other year.
Yeah.
So everybody thought, yes, this year Pixar is going to get it again. But my money was on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and boy, the second it won, I was just yelling. My wife was like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's never mind. Like, we just don't connect to some of that stuff. She just puts up with me. But
I don't feel like there was any way that movie was going to lose.
I'm with you on that, but you'd be surprised. Some people still thought, like it was overrated for some reason. I'm like, have you seen it? Like, there's just no way you could say that.
But
Okay.
your like earlier statement of like C-list people wanting to be A-list, I feel like that's like very common in the Oscars, which is why I could see them choosing another movie thinking, oh, this should be like
Yeah, like Isle of Dogs.
because like
That's another
remember Little Miss Sunshine? Like who fucking watched that
God,
before it won an award?
Oh, quick question. Did you guys see any of the other nominees? Have you seen any of the other nominee movies? Like
Right? And see the Oscars.
anybody see Isle of Dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon watched Isle of Dogs.
Okay.
I did watch Isle of Dogs. I fucking love Isle of Dogs, but I'm a
Thank
huge fan.
So, yeah, that's where I got it from. I think you talked about it one time. And I remember thinking, I haven't seen this. I will be crushed if that movie surprises everybody and walks off with the thing for, oh, this is, some kind of bougie, artsy, animated feature. It deserves an Oscar. Nah.
Which is the one that's why it would have won because of who made it.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say this right now. Even though I'm wearing my Black Panther stuff, I am so glad, thank God, Black Panther didn't win Best Feature
Best
movie.
Picture or whatever.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Let me chime in real quick on animated, right?
All right.
So, yes, Into the Spider-Verse 1, the other movies that were nominated were all 100% animation, right? Do you think The Lion King will be nominated as an animated film, even though it's live action?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I think it should. I don't think it will, but I think it should.
Well, I'm saying, like, if it's good enough, right, and we all love it and everyone loves it, would it nominate as a animated film or would it be a live action film?
No, it should. As long as there's not a single live human being in there, I don't think it's
Framing Roger Rabbit.
Or Jungle Book.
Exactly.
Jungle Book, exactly. That had an actual person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so were those considered like regular? Those were considered like regular movies, right?
Honestly,
Not the animated.
let's be honest. The Oscars don't have a category for that kind of stuff.
I don't think Who Framed Roger Rabbit's going to the Oscars, but
Yeah, like
But
where
the point is, a movie that kind of bridges the divide is not going to get nominated in either category. That's the problem.
like Planet of the Apes. What about that?
Yeah.
ooh, good call.
Did that go to some? Did that
And
go
that
to
is a movie that definitely should start seeing some. Well, that's a series, a world that should have been nominated at some point.
Well, didn't Dude get some awards for playing what's his face? He's Gollum and a bunch of other stuff afterwards.
I think he got more technical awards.
Shit, he was in
Yeah,
Black
'cause he's never been nominated for
Andy
that.
Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yeah. Andy Serkis has never been nominated, I don't think, for any
No.
of those.
Probably like best voice actor or something.
Yeah, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's
The
sort of
best like CGI actor because he technically acts with like all the shit on his face.
right.
So I can
And
see
that's- It's something that's still open for debate in terms of the people who nominate, and also the argument can be made that yes, he does emote, but the entire thing is rendered by artists.
Yeah.
by
But
visual
also,
effects.
like back to Jason's point though, like every example we just made had at least a couple like live humans in it. Like it wasn't complete CGI that didn't have any humans in it.
But
Question:
the Lion
What if-
King won't have any humans.
It
Right,
won't have
exactly.
live humans, but it's going to have some live animals.
Yeah, we're all
And
just
it's
we're
going to
all just
have
animals.
some live scenery. you know what I'm
We'll
saying?
have
So,
humans wearing suits crawling around and shit.
yeah, I mean, I
Excuse
know
me,
the
please don't
elephants-
bite me. Don't touch me, please. I'm pretending to be a
like,
lion today.
Is that a real meerkat? What the fuck, dude?
like the star animals are definitely going to be rendered in CGI, but some of those creatures are definitely going to be real at the same time. So I guess it doesn't quite fall into that category. If they did everything 100% CGI, then I'd say, okay, yeah, definitely it deserved it. But it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it's going to be nominated, but it'll be interesting.
I can definitely say I will be interested in knowing what it gets. If it gets nominated for something. What if they're so confused they're like, fuck it, just don't nominate it for anything.
Yeah, I
But
could see that.
Here's the thing I do want to point out, though.
Fuck it.
Every other movie that's been nominated to this point has always been some deep morality tale, some story of life tale that really pulls on your heartstrings from Pixar or some other studio. This was Spider-Man. Okay, this is like
Happy-go-lucky.
yeah, almost. But they told a really great story, and they had so many technical breakthroughs in the way they.
Okay, so
It's such a. My point is, I think this is a game changer for animation from superhero cartoons because they're gonna have to step their game up now. Okay,
All right,
like,
let's-
DC's been doing stuff since forever, but
let's
nothing.
segue from there.
Okay.
So we all know that the Black Panther it won by this time, by the show this show came out, It's won so much shit. It's got so much fucking screen time. All right. Spider-Verse is the bigger one that I wanted to hit on because I think that one really, really sets the stage for our topic this week.
Did you even see Spider-Verse?
Fuck no.
I didn't think so. Okay, go ahead.
But I know what it is. Okay.
Check it out. There's a guy who really hates Marvel stuff on one of the groups I'm in. He's been resisting watching it. So finally, yesterday, people just started calling him out. Dude, don't say another word in this group till you see it. So today, he goes and sees it. Then he comes back on the group and goes, okay, I saw it. I liked it.
Yep.
It was good.
That movie is dope.
In fact, the things he nitpicked about, people still called him out and said, dude, you know, if DC did this, you would have been, this is amazing. So shut up.
Time out. Let me fucking segue. So going from Into the Spider-Verse, right? That leads a good point, and that leads our topic to today's show is where do superhero movies go from here, right? So I feel like for so long, we've gotten these long stories, these very serious things, you know, starting with Winter Soldier. What's up, dude?
2.5-hour movies and shit.
Dude, Avengers
And Into the Spider-Verse was just that, a fun movie. Like Naru was saying, it didn't have like these huge heartfelt moments like the snap from Infinity War where everybody's crying and shit at the end, right? And
It
there's
was a complete story.
yeah, full complete story. It was fun. It was engaging. It was like superhero movies used to be, right? So where do you guys think that this genre is going from here? Because Into the Spider-Verse proved that the old movies can still work, but everyone is trying to be like Marvel and tell these elaborate stories, and it doesn't always work.
Well, see, I think that's where there's almost a divide, right? You have superhero movies, and you have Marvel movies, like because DC tried to do a big Marvel thing, totally flopped. So now they're kind of going almost back to what they kind of used to do with just making like good individual superhero movies. Marvel did their thing. We've got this huge, big end game, and then I think Marvel's gonna not completely reset because they've got a good thing. They're not gonna stop doing it, but I do think they're gonna kind of step back from these like world-ending consequences a little bit, and build it up again for a few years before we get another like half the universe just got snapped away event. So I think this is the perfect time to go back and kind of reset the superhero genre, if you will, and kind of go back and be like, cool, here are good individual stories. If they tie together, cool. If not, whatever. As long as the movie that we go see is good, that's all that's going to matter going forward. Marvel, we wanted to know how's it going to tie together, what's going to be the next movie, what's going to be the after credit scene, right, all the way up to Endgame. Now we can go back and just be like, cool, let's just watch dope ass superhero movies and see what happens. DC's kind of doing the same thing. We're just going to do some like cool, weird, we're going to do like 4 Joker movies and do a bunch of weird stuff and see what sticks. I'm down for it. Let's do some different stuff in the superhero genre, which they've kind of Marvel's trying to do by doing like a spy film and by doing a heist film, but it's still this like very superhero feel.
Yeah, I agree with Tank. I feel like it's already starting to go that way, even with the Aquaman movie. It was a good like standalone movie that wasn't like, here's a huge cliffhanger for 10 other films, which a lot of superhero movies in the past, however many, like 8 or whatever years have been. Like if you go back to like what made Iron Man 1 really good is that like it had Easter eggs, but it wasn't like, let me set you up for Avengers, the Avengers movie. It was like a good movie in its own. And that's what Into the Spider-Verse is bringing back, because like it's a good single story. Like it is a good movie. Yes, it can make movies after it, and Aquaman will probably make movies after it. And it can have sequels, and it's open for sequels, but it doesn't need a sequel to be a good movie. Like the Avengers movies now, it's almost like you watch it and you're like, what? Now I gotta wait for the next one to come out. It's not as much like, it's more like a TV show. And now with how like, I don't know, how accessible TV shows are now to just binge watch the whole thing straight off the bat. when movies come out that are set up like a TV show, where it's like you need to watch the next one because this story isn't anywhere near being completed. I like that sometimes, like in the Fantastic Beasts. I love that. I'm in for that 100%. But like in the superhero genre, that has been done out and like died in DC already, and Marvel has done it for I don't know however many years now. So I think
So can I chime in real quick on the Fantastic Beast thing?
Yeah.
So the Fantastic Beasts, we know there's an end, right? Like there's a huge cliffhanger, but we know that there are only 3 movies or 6 movies.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Six in this one.
Yeah.
So, but we know that there's a cliffhanger because, right? With the Marvel movies, there's a cliffhanger because the next one is coming.
Yeah.
There is no end.
Inside.
Like, so I think that your reference to TV shows is good. Like Marvel is setting up these elaborate, great television. It's a movie series.
Yeah. It's a 2.5 hour episode TV show that you're waiting for the next episode to air in like
Next
a
year.
year and a half or however long it takes.
I got a question.
What's up?
Apart from Infinity War and maybe Iron Man 2, which movie that's done by Marvel do you feel did that? Like it was basically one big setup for something else.
I feel like in my opinion, the Captain America movies were that way.
Which one?
Winter Soldier,
Which
then
one? Okay.
Oh,
Winter Soldier, Civil War. Those were both Captain America movies.
Civil War for sure.
Avengers 1 and 2. Then the third one, obviously. Black Panther was kind of a standalone. I'll give
Black
you that.
Panther was great, and that's like newer,
yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. I think the newer ones are getting back to that like early Marvel movies where it's like Iron Man 1 or like the first of each one, like Thor 1.
And that's the thing. We're getting new characters again, right? That's kind of we're having to reset.
Resetting back to the old movies where like in the past, however many years, they've all been just like these setup movies kind of, which like technically they have a beginning, middle, end, but it's like a small portion of this big picture they're trying to paint.
You know, here's the thing, though. I've always felt like Marvel did a very good job of creating that consequence that justified it being tied to something else. For example, I like the way they did it in Civil War, where the decision, let's go back to Winter Soldier. The decisions of Captain America to expose Hydra had lasting impact. It destroyed S.H.I.E.L.D. The actions of Captain America and Tony Stark, they parted and ended the movie without a resolution to their relationship. But I liked it not just because it was a setup for something else. I liked it because it felt real. Like, hey, listen, sometimes friends hurt each other and they just can't get over it that quick. They can't, there's actual situations. Has any of you seen the new movie, Alita Battle Angel?
No, I didn't get a chance to go see it yet.
Okay. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say that to me is an example of how not to end a movie to set up as a setup for sequels, because I'm watching the movie and it's like, yay, do.
I think a better way or a way to just now, some of these movies they're perfectly enjoyable by themselves. They're even more enjoyable with the bigger pictures. To me, Black Panther is not any better because of the other movies. Civil War is 100 times better because of the movies before and after it. Whereas like Black Panther is just a badass movie by itself. Iron Man 1, Thor 1. Maybe not Thor 1, but Thor 1's okay. But
I don't like any of the
yeah, well, but Thor 3 was good. But again, but even Thor 3 is kind of dependent on like other characters a little bit. So.
But at no point in my argument did I say I didn't like those movies.
Right.
No,
that's why I
asked the question. Which one?
I enjoy the shift in the status quo back to the original movies that weren't doing that. They had small things, but they weren't like, this is the 20-year plan, and that when we're going to fucking Civil War at this point and do this. Like, I enjoy those movies too, and I'm just glad to see something different. Like, I think that's where it's going. I'm not saying because I enjoy the like story thing. I think that's awesome because
one of the things I really hate
shows.
One thing I really hated in anything superhero that CW does to the point where I want to kill somebody is the whole you're the only one that can save us shtick. I really, it upsets me.
Captain Marvel.
So when you get to that point where you have a situation where the person is like, you keep drumming it in our ears. You're the only one. I'm the only one that can save the world. I'm the only one who can be fast enough. Flash, you know. All that stuff.
Captain Marvel.
You
Have
want
you
to speak
seen Captain Marvel yet?
Here's what I'm trying to say.
Tell me, Obi-Wan, you're our only.
The two things that I really dislike. I don't even get what he's trying to do there. Like, I really don't like that whole stick where one person's supposed to be there's so much emphasis on you're needed, you're necessary, that I feel like after a while it's overdone. The second thing I really don't like, which I put up with, but I'm getting tired of, is the whole everything has to have a world-ending consequence.
Yeah, I think you're just over a superhero movie. Just stop. Like,
No, not even that.
Fun having you on the show.
Okay, let's go back. Iron Man wasn't about the world ending. Thor wasn't about the world ending. It was about a fight between him and his brother. His brother wanted to kill him.
2 was not about the world ending.
Thank you. My point is, I think they need to go back to telling smaller stories that still have consequences, smaller stories that still have impact. And that's where they thrived. And then in trying to build these interconnected worlds with higher stakes that justify everybody coming together, that's where you have, we're going to end the galaxy. But with Infinity War, that's like the ultimate, dude. You just took out half of all existence. Don't do it again. Otherwise, you're going to be like, oh, really? You know? So yeah, Tank's right. Get them back to the whole small. I describe it more as smaller contained stories. I really like Ant-Man for that. Ant-Man always tells those small stories.
And I love it.
Right. I think they've earned
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena is the best. I think they've earned going back to the smaller stories, right? Like more speaking specifically to Marvel. They've given us, 12 years of building this one story, and now it's paying off. Time to start over. Let's do it all over again.
Okay.
I hope they give Michael Pena a suit at some point. I don't care what he does.
It doesn't even have
powers in the suit.
It doesn't even have to have any special abilities.
Yeah, I want to see him in the suit. I mean, all he has to do is look like.
I just want a package from Tony Stark, and he opens it up thinking it's like a super suit, and it's literally just like a like a regular like suit from Tony Stark.
Tony could do that to him. Tony's that much of a douchebag.
So here we go with this, right? DCEU, DCU, whatever you want to call yourselves, right? They did a Wonder Woman movie, which was mostly a standalone. Then they did the Justice League. That was
Was the Justice League before Wonder Woman?
No.
Wonder Woman, Justice League. Then after
wait, he's right.
No, I think.
No, it wasn't. No, Wonder Woman, Justice League.
Wonder Woman was
she was introduced in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was introduced, then her movie came out, and then Justice League came out.
Yeah.
So, but they did the Wonder Woman, which was a standalone, right? They did Aquaman, and they're like, hell, let's just keep doing this. And then now they're scheduling the Flash movie with Ezra, and I'm pretty sure
they?
a pre-show on that.
Seriously, are they?
Yeah.
They're still working on it. They're still like trying to write it still.
Ezra Miller has this script apparently and has read it and said, this thing is, what is verbatim? This thing is going to be dope.
Is that how he worded it?
Yeah. What else is Ezra Miller?
But anyway.
Fantastic.
Ezra Miller is great. But anyway, so they're moving forward with these small stories. So now I think it's funny that they tried to be Marvel, and Marvel, of course, is going to do exactly what Marvel did. They're going to do the world-ending scenario of Infinity Wars, come back down to Ant-Man style movies that are fun, short, whatever. And then DC is going to be like, oh, you guys are copying us now? Trying to do like that? No, they're not. Like, they're doing what they did originally.
Right.
Yeah, like I almost wonder, like, at what point is I don't know how to look at it. Like, is DC making these movies because their attempt at like a team movie was garbage? So they're like, look, we're doing well with these like single standalone movies, so let's do this. Or were they like, Marvel started with single standalone movies that were great and it built up over years, so let's do that. So like, are they actually copying Marvel and they just like restarted their starting point? Or
has Marvel ever done standalone movies? I don't think so. I think they've always done a movie that always seemed to have a hook that led to something else.
They all have like Easter eggs and hooks and things like that. But like the early like Iron Man 1 and stuff like that, those were like, in my opinion, could be considered standalone movies. Like,
Yeah, you're
they had a lead up for like a follow up, like a sequel or whatever, but it wasn't like, oh, I met Batman and now we're gonna make
Right.
Justice League. It was like they were like, oh, Nick Fury is a guy. And I'm like,
It wasn't like, oh, Batman met Superman in the second movie of his series, and the first one we didn't really call a movie of this series.
I like that they brought back the other connective tissue, the Son of Coal. He's coming
it
back.
also wasn't like part of the movie. It was like the credit scene when he like
Right.
Fury.
Right. Exactly.
It wasn't
Coulson's coming back. Coulson's coming back.
Yeah, so it was like, I think, I don't know if it's like the chicken or the egg type thing, like for DC. I don't know if they're doing it because they're trying to actually follow Marvel, or if they were like, hey, this worked for Wonder Woman, so let's do more of that. I don't know.
I feel like, but I know, like for DC, when DC was really like, if you could say in their height, when they were like right in the middle of
When they were popping?
Yeah. Kind of.
1989, Batman 1.
Yeah. That's when I was really keeping up with the news. And the DC was like rife with like leadership changes and writer changes, and like they had so much problem on the back end. I think their plan changed too much for them to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and then come back and do it this other way. I think they're like, we have this plan, and then like it bombed, and then because it bombed, they changed leadership, and now we're gonna go this way, and that still didn't work. It was still crap. So now new leadership again. Now we're gonna go this way. So like their DC seems totally reactive, whereas Marvel seems like they always have a plan. The plan's not necessarily set in stone, but they've always had a good plan. Whereas DC's like, here's our plan. That didn't work. We need a new plan. We need a new plan.
One more
And
thing.
even when Thor was trash, they kept going with it. So.
Right, exactly.
We've talked about Marvel and DC, and let's not forget, these two giants have really affected pretty much all of entertainment today because of the Marvel and DC movies, almost every movie that comes out, they're trying to make event films now as against movies. So everybody's trying to do something big to make the big bucks, number one. Number two, is also affecting the smaller comic book guys. Like, look at the fight between Marvel and Netflix. By losing all that stuff, Netflix has said, okay, we got to go find some new stuff. So they're finding Umbrella Academy. They're finding Magic Order. They're finding all these other guys. You've got DC trying to introduce their smaller stuff. So I'm looking at people like Vin Diesel, who, by the way, was hanging out with Captain America at the Oscars. And I'm thinking, so Vin couldn't get into the Marvel the way he wanted. Now he's doing Bloodshot with, another house. I'm thinking, I think what's going to happen is Marvel and DC at some point are going to see some kind of diminishing returns, and it's going to create space for the same way we're seeing some new TV shows from other houses. We're going to see some new movies from other places. And the question is, if those guys try to go edgy and dark and R-rated, that might be the route to go, just to differentiate themselves. I think that's another impact thing we're going to see. We're going to see new
Bring
stuff.
back Spawn, dude.
I know.
Spawn? So, okay.
Dark
So
and
touching on
rated R as hell.
touching on both of those, right? Where Naru is saying, DC and Marvel are kind of like the status quo now for superhero movies, but they're gonna become like mediocre. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, another Captain America movie. Oh yeah, another Batman movie, right? And Spawn does have a movie coming out with Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah.
Image, I think, will be
like Jamie's
only
hero movies.
Me either. But I do like him in Django Unchained. So
kind of
He was badass in Django Unchained. Now, if you can get
Baby Driver.
Tarantino to do a movie and have him in it,
he was all right.
yeah.
So,
That's it. Give Tarantino a Spawn movie.
I think Image is the only one that can really have characters that would hold up on the big screen. Like TV shows all day, right? Like you have Umbrella Academy, you have all of these, but in theaters, the Umbrella Academy wouldn't hold up.
No.
Because it doesn't have the following. It wouldn't do well.
It would be similar to what is that movie that came out? I mean, it was popular. Guy with a blue dick.
With a
Watchmen.
Yeah, Watchmen.
The cops are coming to get me.
No.
I feel like Umbrella Academy is very similar to like Watchmen style. And
right. And the thing I I believe, that made The Watchmen so successful is that it wasn't your normal superhero movie, but no one, like, if you didn't know about it, it wasn't even gimmicky. Like, it had the realistic superhero abilities. Umbrella Academy kind of has that gimmicky, like, it's fun to watch. And I love the Umbrella Academy. I really do. But I don't think it would hold up like The Watchmen.
It would be like a cult classic type movie.
Right.
Like
The
they would
Watchmen
have like
held
that
up, and it's
type
a
of
cult
following.
Like what's Mystery Men? Have you guys ever seen Mystery Men
Oh,
with
dude,
Ben
we love
Stiller?
Love it.
That's what I'm saying. It would be more of like a artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
I love it because of this. Like
It'd have to go very cheap on the budget, which would totally wreck it.
And that's my theory, is that Image is the only one with Spawn, and literally just Spawn, Savage Dragon, and who has Hellboy now?
That's Mignola. What's their name?
I couldn't see
Image.
Savage Dragon.
No, it is Image.
I know
Image
that.
is Hellboy. So, yeah, I think only Image can really step up.
What is Ninjax? It's Ninjax?
Valiant.
Oh, okay.
Ninjak is Valiant.
I think Valiant can probably step up depending on how well this Vin Diesel movie does.
If the Vin Diesel movie goes well, then they can't be doing these cheesy Ninjak like
Ninjak ain't
so
cheesy.
things.
You do Ninjak right, he ain't cheesy.
No, I know that. I love Ninjak. I told you about Ninjak, but
Hey, I think Dark Horse has Hellboy.
does it?
Okay.
I thought there was a whole thing of like
Yeah, Dark
baby. Is it Dark Horse?
Yeah.
Well, look at Dark Horse. Fucking
Can I
Umbrella
just say,
Academy.
I'm not really
Hellboy.
eager to see Hellboy.
What's up?
I like the first.
I mean, I like Hellboy. I like this movies. I'm just not excited about seeing Hellboy. I feel like Hellboy's had its run. You know, like, oh, that's awesome.
I'm so excited about this Hellboy.
I would
I'm
like to.
happy. The point is, there's other stuff I'd like to see I haven't seen. I'm like, you know, yeah, that's just me. I'll go see it. I just think there's other stuff in
I love Dogs.
Valiant Image I want to see. You know, like,
Ninja.
and also that's why I'm really down with the whole take them out, man. I'm really hoping at the end of Endgame, the big five are gone and we can see some.
I wish they had killed him in Avengers 3, but
I know,
we
right?
had that conversation.
Yeah, we had.
I just want to see more Ant-Man.
Yeah, I hope they kill him too.
I
And
want more Ant-Man and
Falcon, Winter Soldier, Buddy Cop.
yeah.
yes,
I want the girl. I want the girl from the comics to be the next Iron Man.
Yeah.
I would love that.
dude, Bendis is. I don't know. Bendis comes up with some pretty cool young black girls in
Well,
his.
he did Miles Morales too, didn't he? Wasn't
He
that-
did Miles Morales. He did Riri, and he has a new character. Guys, go read Naomi. Like seriously, that is, yeah, that's a new book he's doing.
The number one, and it's been on my mind since we talked about it. Well, I talked about it briefly. I want to see Django too. I want to see where Django goes. I know that's not comic book related, but since we were talking Jamie Foxx,
Are
I
they
didn't know they were making a number 2. I didn't know that.
I don't think they are, but I want to see it. That doesn't mean I don't want to see it.
I thought you meant like you saw something about it and you're like, I'm psyched to see this movie.
No, fuck no. I mean, come on, I'm getting John Wick 3. Give me Django 2.
Oh,
Come on.
dude.
You
I
gotta
like
go.
Django better than John Wick.
Listen, I'm gonna say this one more time. They should just take a truckload of money, back it up to Tarantino's house, and say, "Could you please come take something from Valiant or Image and just make it into a movie?"
But could you imagine him doing Batman? They have like
No,
star writers and shit. Like
I'm not even lying. I can't imagine him doing a Batman movie.
that would be amazing, dude.
I
No,
just can't.
it would end up like the fight scene from Batman vs Superman, where
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is just fucking people up.
Yes,
Oh,
Tarantino's
the
Batman.
warehouse.
it would end up like that scene from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's the whole movie, and I would love it.
It would be like a bring back of like the '90s Batman movies. I feel like.
I'm just saying
Batman.
Oh,
That
Guy
fight
Ritchie!
scene?
They should get a Guy Ritchie superhero movie.
the Batman
I like to
fight scene from Batman vs Superman, best fight scene in any superhero movie.
You just want the warehouse fight scene?
Yes,
Yeah.
where he's just
Oh, yeah.
fucking dudes up.
Yeah.
Dude, what? There's no other fight scene in that movie. As far
Fair
as
enough.
I don't know, dude. When
That-
Wonder Woman first came in, I got chill bumps. That shit was tight. when she like landed and her theme music played like in the final fight scene. Like, that shit was
Yeah.
Which one?
That shit was kind of like the
BBS.
final fight scene where like Wonder Woman like came in
Oh,
and just
yeah.
freaking landed, it was like poof, and her like
Yeah,
the
that was a cool
Is
fight.
she with you?
she was fucking that guy up. She
Yeah,
was
Wonder Woman
just
was badass.
wrecking him.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily like super intricate or anything, but she was just like punch him in the face, and I was like, that's so sick looking. that hyped me up. So, but I do agree. I like the warehouse, like how it was filmed. It was like
That was
but, like when Wonder Woman. That's not the only fight scene because when Wonder Woman came in,
Yo, didn't he take the slide off one of the pistols and put it in the dude's face?
it was something ridiculous. He was doing all sorts of ridiculous.
I haven't seen that movie since
Slide off the pistol. It was like,
this is the first time I saw it.
dude. All I can say is the second he shoots back and grabs that crate and one arms it into those guys, I'm like,
See, look, we're all saying how bad a movie it is, but we all love at least.
no, I didn't say it was ever bad.
There are
That
movies
movie
that I
as a
think
whole, that movie as a whole is terrible.
There are
Okay.
movies that, as a whole, there's not a single thing I like about them. So those are.
So
That's fair.
it's kind of like that whole Suicide Squad thing where there's so many cool moments, but the whole thing is like, yeah,
not
I fell
good.
asleep.
So okay, we all know that Ben Affleck has now officially stepped down from being Batman. We know that. Is anybody else sad about that?
I am.
I'm
mean, I
very
thought-
sad.
I thought I don't think that my problems with Batman were his. So
I
No,
feel like he could, like, the potential was so great, and that's why I'm sad.
Ben Affleck is
Sad
one of
for
my
what could
favorite
have been.
actors and directors. Like the guy is great. And if
Yeah.
you don't believe it, watch The Town. And then if you still don't like him, go jump off a fucking bridge.
Is
Fuck
anybody sad that Joseph Gordon-Levitt like was in the Batcave at the end of, and then he never
nothing.
became Batman or Nightwing or anything? Fucker.
nothing.
'Cause
that
I'm more-
was like that's like the biggest waste of a character I've ever seen. Like,
We bring that up every like 4 or 5
actor
episodes.
in a
same
freaking
way
universe.
of the town and Ben Affleck every so often. Like, yeah,
I'm just saying, I like The
I'm
Town.
agreeing with you, man. Hey, he was. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying, yeah, okay.
Damn, this rabbit hole is going to go on forever. The Town leads me to Hawkeye, which leads me to Ronin, which leads me to Endgame.
Oh, dude.
Oh no, wait.
No,
Well,
the town was
I have only
filmed
one
in
thing
the
to say
city I
about
work
Endgame.
in.
I really have only one thing to say about Endgame. I have stopped trying to predict what's going to happen. In my
Ronin's
mind,
going to fuck everything up.
Bruh, that movie's gonna be.
in my mind is like, until I see Endgame, I have no clue what Marvel plans to do next.
Have you seen Tag?
Yeah.
That's Ronan, dude.
Oh.
That's gonna be him. He's gonna be the character from Tag in an Avengers universe. Like no one can touch him, and he fucks everybody up without touching them at all.
Dude, that movie was actually pretty great.
Yeah, that's gonna be Ronan, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna go see Tag tonight. I haven't seen it.
Dude, it's good.
It's on like Netflix or something.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
funny.
look for it. I haven't seen
It is a very funny movie. I do.
I'm telling you, Ronin, I said it before they announced it. I said it long time when if you go back to the Nerds from Work where we do our preview for Infinity War, I said he won't be in this movie, but Hawkeye will come back. He will be Ronin, and he will fucking kill Thanos.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, we'll see in a few months, but
Captain Marvel.
that's what's happening.
Dude, I love that. That's Age of
Captain
Ultron
Marvel.
has its plenty of problems, but his scene where he's talking to Scarlet Witch is great. He's like, I'm just a dude who shoots pointy sticks at people. Like, fucking get up and let's go. I was like, oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
So,
He's the guy who just refuses to get overwhelmed by life
Until he fucking snaps and goes ape shit.
until they take out the one thing that anchors the guy.
old man Hawkeye.
Goes Ronin on the ass.
Yeah, they took his family away, and he's about to.
We
fuck
don't know that for sure.
Big no.
We know that.
Dude,
We don't know that for sure. Yeah.
that's happened.
So, oh gosh, it felt like a whole bunch of rabbit holes, but it was a really, really, really good conversation about where we think Marvel movies are going or where we think superhero movies are going. And I've been wanting to say this all night, and I just kept forgetting because there were so many rabbit holes. Can we all just agree that Deadpool does not need to change anything?
No.
No. No.
Fucking.
Yes, we can agree that. Why are you saying no? That we don't need to change it.
I'm saying no. I don't mean to change nothing.
Yeah, no, don't change anything.
All these double negatives, guys. Learn fucking English.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We all agree they don't need to change anything.
Yes.
No.
Yes, we can all agree.
Brandon, say yes. What's the matter with you, man?
Ryan Reynolds, don't change anything about Deadpool. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about what any other superhero movies are doing at the time. You
Are
keep
they doing the third?
I don't know. I'm still in favor of Deadpool becoming the new Stan Lee cameo. Just saying. He just needs to pop up in every single Marvel movie from here on out. The shit would be fucking hilarious.
Or even just Ryan Reynolds.
Or Ryan Reynolds.
Just Ryan Reynolds. Like
for the next because shit,
making a Deadpool reference.
I think Stan Lee did what?
Has anybody seen Doom Patrol yet?
No one's watching Doom Patrol.
I am. I'll just tell you this one thing. There's a guy in Doom Patrol who has one very unique skill that Deadpool has, and it's not healing.
Sarcasm?
Breaking the fourth wall.
Oh.
Like, he literally says stuff like, he's talking and monologuing. Who are you talking to? He said, DC fanboys and anybody who's dumb enough to pay for this subscription. I'm like,
I want Deadpool to start, like, for the first, 15, cameos that he does is just him remaking Stan Lee's cameos, but in new movies. So it's like him drinking this green soda and then passing out like he's dying, or him in a strip club DJing and shit like that. I think that would be hilarious.
I think even just Ryan Reynolds making Deadpool references. Wouldn't this be cooler if Spider-Man was, I don't know, red and black and carried samurai swords?
Yeah.
Like little things like that would be super funny. Like, oh man, I love Spider-Man's new costume. I think it would be better if he carried weapons.
If he had katanas and a gun.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, all right, guys, another rabbit hole for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Always.
Ryan Reynolds, just keep doing what you're doing.
Brandon had nothing to do with
want
it.
to say?
No.
That was very good. All right. Good one. All right, guys. Tank, tell them where to find you.
Yo, you guys can find me all over the internet at The Caped Critic. You guys can find us live next week. It's gonna be a blast. So tune in, twitch.tv/TheNerdsFromWork. It'll be on our YouTube channel. And get on the Facebook page, get on the Facebook event so you know what time. And man, it's gonna be a blast.
Rue.
You can find me online at TheNerdsFromWork. You can also find me on our website. I'm going to do something that you can always find me there, writing articles and fun stuff from now on. I have not written a thing since the first one.
Get back to it.
That is true, except the second one. You wrote the first one, you wrote the second one the same day, and then cocaine is a hell of a drug. You guys can find me at Houdini0333. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Like Tank said, we are going to be going live on Twitch, but I am also going to be going live on Instagram before we go live on Twitch, so be sure to be there Tuesday at 9 o'clock. All right, Brandon, they've been waiting for it. Wait.
Slow down.
Should we go live on Instagram right now?
No, that would take too long.
No? Okay, it would take 2 seconds. That's too long. Brandon, tell them where to find you.
Anybody who knows me knows my seafaring ways. They can find me on a Sea Captain Date, BMiller425. I would just like to point out
Oh my God, this is a real thing.
they missed a perfect opportunity to use the term seaman date.
Oh.
But, I mean, that's their loss. I will be launching an app next week called
Find your first mates. That is so...
Oh, Jesus.
First Mates. Mine's gonna be for need help finding your first mate. Check out Seaman Date. Go check that out on the App Store next week when I launch my first app.
You guys can find him at BMiller425. Guy, Brandon, I just want to say thank you for bringing so much humor to everyone's life.
My only skill. Like, find weirdness on the internet and share it with everybody.
So good.
Tank, if you post something in like the midweek thing, just post all of us laughing. That's it. Like, that's it. Guys, you can find all of us at TheNerdsFromWork.com. You can find our podcast on iTunes. If you're listening to it now on iTunes, you already found us. You can also find us on SoundCloud and YouTube at The Nerds From Work, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Nerds From Work. Hey guys, you can find us patreon.com/The Nerds From Work. Please, it's cheaper than a burrito, but you also are giving a lot of money so Brandon can continue going on these seafaring dates.
Sailing
First
costs a
mate.
lot of money. Sails rip. Duct tape is expensive these days.
So
He's got the whole rape kit, guys. He's got the duct tape, the airsoft gun.
Well, it's for fixing the sails.
right.
Like sea pirates, you know.
And an endless supply of semen
Oh, God.
to crew his ship.
There's only so much, right?
What kind of
Like,
ship is it? A junk? A Chinese?
yeah, he gets new semen on the ship every 24 hours or
It's
so.
a dinghy.
Do they crew your Chinese junk?
It's right. He gets new semen on his dinghy every day. So
Yeah, about every 24 hours they replenish. So, all right, guys. If you want to hear more semen jokes, be sure to tune in next week. We're gonna be live on Twitch. I really Brandon fucked this up, and I really don't know what to say from here.
This is a good one.
Okay. Brandon, why don't you go ahead and just say it?
What is it? I always say peace, but is it sayonara? I've never made it this
Whatever,
far.
guys. Hey, from all of us here at the workplace, peace.